The name of this exciting new development, the Fokker 50 Propjet, a quality 50-seater airliner that offers the competitive edge to any carrier operating short to medium-haul routes. Multi-sector capability and profit potential of an exceptionally reliable propeller airliner. The Fokker 50 has entered the market in a class on its own.
What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome back. It's your boy Blue Games. We're here for another showcase and review, taking a look at the Fokker 50 Regional Turboprop by Coronado. I want to start by saying every review I do for X-Plane 11 is judged by 4 main categories. That is visuals, which includes modeling, texturing, lighting, animation, liveries, frames per second, accuracy, and attention to detail. Second, physics. That includes flight model, air physics and ground physics, you know, how does it fly. Third is sound, that's self-explanatory. And then systems, so autopilot, the avionics, does the transponder work, you know, things like that. And I also judge it by a few other factors like UI, installation, if those things are a factor. But let's take a look here at this Fokker 50. And you can tell by the exterior model that we got the usual Coronado treatment, always gives us the highest in 4K PBR, textures all around, inside and out. There is no complaints here. Great detail even in the landing gear and props. So props to Coronado for consistently giving us some great high quality textured aircraft. This plane is optimized for VR, supports Reality XP GTN, we'll be using that today. Also is using the laminar default integrated FMS, HDR lighting, rain effects, custom electrical system, and so on. Pretty much the usual upgrades by Coronado. It's a very good representation of the real-life Fokker 50. And as we move to the cabin, I will note this is the largest aircraft that Coronado has released for X-Plane 11 so far. But while you're sitting in the cabin, you have a few animated objects to play with. You can lean the seats back, put the armrests up, open and close the window covers. You can click on the overhead lighting. You can click on all the buttons overhead, including, I believe, the flight attendant button. Also, the tray tables do come down. Just make sure to put those up before takeoff and landing. And the Fokker 50 really does allow for some very nice window views of the engine and wing, and even the gear. But besides from the animated and clickable objects in the back of the cabin, the texturing is pretty decent. As we move up to the cockpit door does open. And just as the back and the rest of the aircraft, again, the kind of the Coronado standard here is just really high quality 4K texturing all around. I believe the texturing inside of the cockpit looks amazing. It looks great. It really does mimic and really model exactly how a Fokker 50 would look. Again, I should mention this aircraft is using the default X-Plane 11 FMS. And if you have a GTN 750, that is also compatible in the 3D cockpit. I really do like the texturing though on the seats for the pilot and co-pilot seats. They look really good. I do like that this has a very nice worn look. This is a very old aircraft. And I feel that it needs to have some wear and tear in it. It needs to really have that worn look to really be believable. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want a brand new Fokker 50. Like, they don't even make these anymore. You know what I'm saying? So you got to have some wear and tear here, no matter how well you take care of this aircraft. All right, it is time for our test flight, and as you can see, it is pouring down rain right now. It's a little bit of a thunderstorm here in San Jose, Costa Rica. Big shout out actually to Skyhawk Pro Flight Gaming, one of the supporters of my channel. He actually recommended this scenery. This scenery is free on the org. Mike Romeo Oscar Charlie. Very, very well done. You can't really see it too good now because it's raining, so I apologize about that. But definitely go check it out for yourself. And as well as the Panama scenery we're flying to is also free. But let's go ahead and get this test flight going here in the Fokker. And man, I love walking underneath these propellers. Like, it's just really, I don't know, they're so big. Like, it's such a big plane. It feels like it anyways. And you just wait till you hear that thing spin. It's going to be amazing. All right, but as you can see, it's pretty dark. Again, I think We have about 25 knot wind out there. It's a pretty bad storm, but we're gonna try to get these passengers there safely. But yeah, so you can see the cabin back here. Pretty dark in here. As I said, we're cold and dark, but you know, as the lightning flashes, it's kind of see a little bit of light heading up here to the cockpit. And look at those lib rain effects at work. Beautiful. Got to love it. That looks amazing, man. I love seeing the rain on the windshield. Definitely adds to the I guess I could say immersion, you know, of the flight and the flight sim. Whoever made that plugin, the LibRain plugin, man, thank you so much. And I'm glad Coronado is implementing it in all of their new aircraft. So anyway, let's get into the pilot seat. We'll take command of this baby, get this thing started, get some lights on in here. All right, so we'll go up to the top. First, we'll get the battery turned on. Here we go, and then we'll turn on the external power, which is available. We do have the GPU turned on. Anyway, let's get some lights going on. We'll go down here to the lighting area. The lighting, yeah, whatever. Is turned on. Let's see if they work like I was expecting them to. Yeah, there we go. And let there be light. Okay, beautiful. All right, so we got the battery turned on. Let's go ahead and arm our emergency lights. Be right here. Window heat needs to come on. That'll be over here on the right. We'll go to low. Set our landing altitude in Panama, which is basically going to be sea level. And that's going to be down here in the pressurization area. So let's change altitude to basically 0. Again, this is not your cruising altitude, this is your landing altitude. Keep that in mind. Next, we'll turn the seatbelt signs on and spoken signs. Nav lights on. Storm lights can come on. It is storming. And then we'll set our altimeter. You can see the GTN has now come to life down there. I'm also going to go ahead and hide this yoke. It actually gets in the way very often because you have all this MFD and stuff behind it. Altimeter is going to be 29905. And this aircraft is really simple to start up. I'm just going to go ahead and program my GTN for today's flight, and then we'll be ready to start. So I was thinking of skipping the GTN programming part, but just in case you're new to it, if you already know how to use this, you can skip this part. Won't take long. We don't have a lot of waypoints, but I'm just going to walk through this really quick. So I'm going to load my procedure and then hit departure. And we're going to go down to the Parade 3, Isabella, load procedure, scroll down. After that, we're going to catch an airway, so we'll go load airway. Uniform Golf 440, all the way to Pudos, that's Panama. From there, we'll load that, add a waypoint. This will be direct to Victor, Uniform Mike, Alpha, November. Also in Panama. And we don't have any star today, but I have tested stars with this aircraft, and it follows them perfectly fine. Really, the limitation of stars and SID really only depends on X-Plane's default FMC. All right, there it is. Panama City International is where we're headed today. Honestly, I have not yet tested this online yet, so I cannot say if the transponder is working. I know that some of the other recent Coronado aircraft on initial release had an issue with the transponder, so you may want to check on that, but I am not sure that it's working. But they have, in every release so far, they've come back and fixed it in the 1.1 version. All right, now that our FMC is done, we're going to go up top. Just make sure our hydraulics are on. That's going to be right up here in this section. As you can see, the lights out means that it's on. Lights on means that it's off. That's kind of the concept they're doing with the overhead and pretty much all the aircraft. Is if the lights are on, it's off. If the lights are off, it's on. Yeah. So hydraulics look good. Let's set our trim. Trim is down here. Trim is set. And next, let's go close the doors, which we can just click on our Coronado menu, which I have hidden currently. And we'll get all those doors closed. Rear doors. And yeah. All right, really quickly, let me show you this click spot. It took me a while to find it. So if you want to close this front passenger door here, you can't really just like reach out and pull it back. The way to close it's going to actually be on this panel over here next to the door. Way up here. Yeah, this black panel that says door control. You can click, I don't know if you guys can see, it's a little bit dark, I apologize, but it says up and down. Click on up, and that will close it. Getting the cockpit door closed is tricky. You got to find it. So it's actually way back here. It leans all the way around. Look at that. Yeah, it took me a while to figure that out. Alright, let's go back up there.
Windshield strap and adapter in position. Release parking brake when ready to start pushback. Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
We're going to go ahead and get the aircraft started now that we've finished pushback. And the manual says to only use battery 2, only use fuel pump 2 when you're starting off with battery. So we're going to give that a try. It may not work. I usually have been starting with the ground power unit. So let's give that a try. Other than that, that's all we need to do. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the ignition, switches, all 3 of them on. And I'm going to start with the engine number 2. Click and hold that for a few seconds. Let it go. Check for NH percentage. Look for 20% already there. Pretty much almost instantly it's going to be at 20%. And give it power, fuel up to start. And then you can go open. Alright, we got one good engine, and do the same process for engine number 1. First I'm going to turn the generator on for engine number 2. And I'm going to go start switch to the left, hold it for a few seconds, let it go. And you can pretty much almost, like I said, instantly go to fuel up. So there it is, there's 20 degrees, or 20%. Go to start first. Tell you, man, engine start never gets old. And now we'll go open with the fuel lever. Not sure what the difference is all the way up to the open line. Now we'll go to generator 1. Turn all the fuel pumps on now. Make sure your external power is off if you haven't turned it off already at this point. Checking on anti-icing, so turn probe heat on. It's not really cold outside, but it is wet and rainy, so turn all. Basically, you just need to get all the lights to go off. You can turn the bleeds on and the packs on. Air condition as needed. Battery charger on. Ignition's off. So all the lights overhead should be off, including the auto flight fuel CTL and warn audio. And all these tests up here need to go off. Next we'll go to flaps. We'll be taking off flaps 5. And if you need help figuring out what your flap speed or your N1 or V1, all that good stuff is down here on this yellow little note right here, which is very, very helpful. And as well as your speed limitations. That's what it looks like. Alright, you can switch this from map view. If you need to change, if you want to pop that up, you can click on it. If you want to change the range of this, there's these arrows down here in the center that you can click on. Up and down. Up means down obviously means closer. Up means farther, if you need to see that. In order for the flight director to show up, you need to click on nav or heading. You can click on heading, and that's going to go ahead and bring the flight director up here. You also hit navigation, that'll put you on the same thing. So wish me luck as we depart a very windy and stormy San Jose, Costa Rica.
Wind shear.
Taxi lights coming on. And I'm also going to turn on the wipers, which are here.
Wind shear. Wind
That is
shear,
way too
wind
fast.
shear.
Alright, wipers are on. Here we go. Take a left. I don't know which way to go.
Wind shear. Wind shear.
Alright, pulling up to the whole short bars, and I so far don't really have any complaints about the ground handling. It is extremely windy out here, so I am actually struggling taxiing this thing up to the runway because it's so windy and we're getting wind shear alerts all over the place.
Wind shear.
And yeah, as you can see, that rain is coming down and has not let up one bit. But we're ready for takeoff, though. I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the yeah, right. I'm gonna go take off in this storm. Landing lights coming on. Taxi lights, I'm gonna leave those on for now. Nav lights are on. Seatbelt signs are on. Storm lights are on. Any collision lights are on. I believe all the lights are on as they should be. One other thing you want to check is make sure you check your trims and also check that you are on takeoff power. Once we get in the air, we'll switch to climb and then cruise power. I don't know if all of these are working like they're supposed to, but they're sort of modeled. I don't think it's extremely accurate, but it does work slightly. Alright guys, wish me luck, let's go. Runway 07, November 116 Bravo, taking off, departing to the east.
Wind shear. Wind shear.
This is going to be interesting.
Wind shear. Wind shear. Wind shear.
Taking it slow. Alright, we're centered. Unit power. Alright, rotate. Nice, despite the storm, I think the wind was in our favor. Very smooth takeoff. Goodbye, San Jose, Costa Rica. Rain effects looking very nice. We do have some lightning in the vicinity. Thankfully, X-Plane does not model that, but we are getting some very moderate turbulence now. Actually, severe turbulence. So we need to be at 15,000 in our climb. Be best if I go to switch to autopilot on the rest of the way. I'm going to nav mode. And IS mode. And altitude select. Make sure you hit altitude select before you go to IS mode. Do it again, just to make sure that it does its thing right. You can go flaps up as well. Gear is up. It is bouncing. We are bouncing around. This is not a comfortable ride for our passengers. We're also climbing like a maniac. Let's actually switch to vertical speed so we can have a... No, actually, we're okay. It's going back down. So check our GTN down here, make sure we're following the correct flight plan. And we seem to be, so as you can see, is our terrain around us. And we should be intercepting to fly to Ezrio. And we can switch this to climb. You can hear the engine power adjusting for the climb power. And we are being rocked right now. Wow, guys, we're climbing up to our cruise of 19,000 feet, and these storms are kicking our butt. Look at this radar up ahead of us, and look at the windows. I have to turn the windshield wipers on back again. Sheesh. I hope we're not icing. I think we may be icing. We have our anti-ice on. And our window heat is on. I'm gonna turn the window heat on high, just in case. Engine anti-icing is coming on as well. As you can see. Oh man, this stuff is kicking our butt. I'm also gonna go ahead and change our vertical speed. Lower it a little bit. We're at 1,000 feet per minute, and I'm gonna lower it down to about 500. Hopefully it can hold that. Struggling with all these spotty storms. We're really good. I think we just, yep, autopilot disengaged. All right, there we go. Looks like we're gonna have smooth skies from here. No more weather reported ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and put our tray tables down, set my laptop up, get started with some video editing. Turn the light on. There we go. Get the air pointed in my direction. Call the flight attendant to get some orange juice, and we're all set. I'll see you guys in Panama. Descending below the clouds now as we make our approach into Panama City. Expected runway 03 right. Just descended below 10,000. Now going to turn the landing lights on. And there it is, just up ahead of us. Beautiful scenery out here, man. It's honestly my first flight out to Panama, and I thought it'd be perfect to fly the Fokker out here. We're descending down to 3,000 feet now with vertical speed mode, and we'll be testing out the ILS function. And just to see and make sure that it works correctly. Alright, I believe we are established on the localizer, and there's a glide slope. So it has captured the glide slope. It looks like we're at about 180 knots, a bit fast, but I do have eyes on the airport. Runway 03 right at Panama City, right up ahead of us. Altimeter is 2979er, and GTN did a good job here. Definitely a lot easier using the GTN for this approach than it is the default FMS. If you are using the default FMS, it is 100% possible to do an ILS approach. There's Panama City off our left. A nice scenery out here, I gotta say. Let's go ahead and slow down here. Pretty close. We are, looks like 5 miles away, so we need to lose some speed quickly. Alright, I think we can take control.
Caution.
500.
Alright, flaps are going down to full.
400. 300. 200. 100.
Glide slow, glide slow. Glide slow, glide slow.
50.
Glide slow.
40.
40,
30.
30,
20.
20,
10.
10.
Ay, ay, ay. Bit of a rough landing, bit of a bounce there. But that's been my luck with this plane this week. I've been getting nothing but bounces. Still working on it, still working on it. Need some more practice. Welcome to Panama City, Mike Papa Tango Oscar. Also free scenery available on the org. And they did a really good job with it, by the way. So, final thoughts on the Fokker 50. To be honest, I really wasn't looking forward to this aircraft. And I say that because on my side of the world, you really don't see a lot of these. So this aircraft is kind of unknown to me. But with me being an av geek and all, it's really fun for me to learn about new aircraft. And I'll have to say that this one definitely grew on me. As always, Coronado did a great job on all the visuals. I can't say too much on the physics side of things because I honestly don't know how this kind of aircraft is supposed to handle. I don't fly turbo prop regional jets in real life, so I choose not to really comment too much on that. But from my experience, from a flight simmer's perspective, the aircraft does fly very smoothly. It doesn't do anything weird while taxiing on the ground. I have no complaints there. The FMOD sounds were done very well. They're very loud, but so is this aircraft. I kind of wish that the startup sequence would be a little bit more satisfying. But outside of that, I feel that the sounds have been done very well. They've done alright with the systems. If you really want to nitpick with it, you could probably pick apart the systems and find tons of errors and inconsistencies. This is not a study level aircraft, and Coronado has never claimed to be. So make sure if you decide to buy this aircraft, you enter with the correct expectations. I am surprisingly getting better frames in this aircraft than I was getting in the Falcon 50. I'll give this aircraft a 3 out of 5 rating. It is definitely an acquired taste. A lot of people always ask me, would you recommend this aircraft? And I would say yes, actually. It's not my favorite Coronado product, but I would recommend it, absolutely. I hope that helped you in some way. Let me know what aircraft you would like to see me review next. I really appreciate you guys. Remember, you got 3 choices: give up, give in, or give it all. You got peace, love, and God bless you. I'll see you guys next time, next video. Peace.